Yo, Blaze,
Yo, what's good, Tone? Get in here.
you trying to burn?
You already late. You already know.
I know, brother. Light that thing up.
So welcome back, everybody. Tone and Blaze, You Trying to Burn? Episode 7, You Trying to Burn. Everybody that's still with us on this journey, we appreciate y'all. And welcome back. Welcome back. What's up, Tone?
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Chilling, you know. Another hump day's on us, and I'm ready to burn.
Ready to cross that finish line?
Yeah.
For the end of the week?
Yes, for sure.
Nice, man.
You know how it is.
Me too, man. And you know what I'm looking forward to at the end of the week?
What's that?
Maybe dropping a gummy or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm down for some edibles.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really a edible guy, but I will get down with an edible.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and you know those edibles, they're really good now, man.
They are. They can be real good.
You
know, it's funny because for a lot of people, at least my experience, right? And so, you know, a lot of stuff we talk about, I got tons of experience with people, and I draw from that experience, and I'm an old man now, so sort of.
And I got some funny stories too, man, with some edibles. You know, with my own self, you feel me? With family members, yo, it's crazy.
You know what, man?
Edibles
I feel like everybody got a story when it comes to edibles. Everybody's got some, you know, oh man, I ate a whole fucking pack and it did nothing, and you know, like ruined my whole night type of story, or they got some story where they were literally a fucking space cadet. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? And so
space cadet is the best. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a crazy trip, but man, when it's happening, you're like, wow, this is intense.
Straight up, man. You know, I think the problem, you know, I think a lot of people don't really know how to make edibles, but now in this world where we can get so many options legally, right? So you're not like cooking them in your kitchen, you know what I mean? Now we're getting like on the level of professional made edibles, and it's been really kind of awesome because, you know, I wasn't really a fan of edibles. You know, some people love them. I never liked them, but my sister, on the other hand, she would fuck them Johns up, you know, but what she would eat too, I would eat like a quarter of one, whatever it is, you know, and I'll be done. But that's because I also smoke heavy. But you know what that is, man? We were talking about it earlier. You know, a lot of people don't decarb the plant before they make the edible. And I think this process is kind of lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because the decarb process it's a whole new thing for me. And I think it's a whole new thing that our listeners might not even be aware of. That's a vital part of this whole thing.
You know what's wild is that it's actually not new for anybody who smokes, right? Because that's the reason we burn. The reason we're trying to burn and roll that shit up and light it is because every hit you're decarbing. That stands for decarboxylation, by the way. And so basically what you're doing is you're activating the bud. But here, actually, I got a website, Meritech.com. Shout out to the author who kind of broke this down for us and our listeners in respect to cannabis, right? Because you can basically research decarboxylation and you will find some heavy chemistry laden articles that really ain't going to serve your purpose, right? So shout out to the author. His name is Colin Darcell. So decarboxylation, often shortened to decarb, is an important step in the process of creating both CBD and THC as it converts the molecules into their active forms. This is important for manufacturers and consumers in order to ensure that they're making and consuming high quality products. So what is decarboxylation? It's the process of heating the leaves, buds, trim, or keef of cannabis or hemp plants. The heating process targets cannabinoid acids, aka inactive cannabinoids, within the plant's trichomes. The decarb process changes the plant's molecular structure, retaining one hydrogen atom while losing one carboxyl group. This change converts THCA and CBDA into their active forms of THC and CBD respectively. You know what I'm saying? So understand what I meant when you'll find yourself in some chemistry-laden articles right there. It kind of breaks it down a little bit. But basically, there's multiple chemicals in the cannabis plant, right? We know THC, and that's what everybody knows, THC. And now today, in 2024, you got a lot more people that are educated. And so now CBD is a major thing that's legal. But what we talked about a little while ago, Tone. Delta 8, Delta 9, you're seeing them all over the place, right? Because they're newer chemicals found within the cannabis plant that aren't illegal, right? And you had posed a question earlier where you said, basically, how are they able to sell these everywhere? And it's because it's not decarbed, right? You're going to decarb it when you vape it or smoke whatever that pre-roll is, just by sparking it up. You know what I'm saying? So
that's when you turn it on.
Right.
That's when it becomes an active thing, when it reaches that chemical imbalance, basically.
Basically, once this decarb process takes place, you're activating all the profile the terpenes we talked about, the THCA, the CBDA, and like THCA is basically, it's not THC, but when it decarbs, it becomes 100% THC. So this is why THCA crystals now are really becoming a big thing. And now you're seeing snowballs. Have you seen them yet?
I haven't seen them yet.
Basically, they're taking crushed up THCA powder and they're rolling the nugs in it. You know what I mean? So
that's wild.
Right. And you're going to do that decarb process when you twist up and spark it. But it's still a little frightening, coming from the 90s, man. I don't want to see stuff rolled up in white powders. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't want no geek blunts over here.
Right. I'm, it's back to that thing where it don't feel like I'm smoking weed anymore. You know what I'm saying? I had to adjust to the dab era. When I went to my buddy's place and I was living in Cali, he was like, hey, you want to smoke some hash? I'm like, great. And this fool pulled out a whole blowtorch. I'm like,
that's some wild shit.
Right. Like, what, are we talking about cannabis?
Hash?
Like this is cannabis? Like cannabis? Like, I wasn't sure if he was breaking out some, anything. You know what I mean?
So when you had mentioned earlier that these things are being sold everywhere, they're being sold everywhere because they're inactive. But the moment that they turn that product on,
right,
it's active for the user.
Right. 100%. So that's what, basically they're selling a product that has the chemical extracted from the plant, and it's in whatever, basically, whatever format they're selling it, whether it's an oil for a cartridge or you could even get CBD wax or Delta 9 wax or Delta 8 wax or sugar, and come home and smoke it like a dab. Right.
That's wild.
But it's inactive until it becomes decarboxylated.
And this is allowing retailers that aren't typical bud retailers to tap into that market.
Right. Unfortunately, it's flooding the market so much that it's kind of hard to know, what's reputable and what's not. So it's important to do your research and make sure you're not just shopping at the local gas station because they got it.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Actually, if you have a real serious question, do your research. And if you have a local dispensary close to you, visit that local dispensary. They are a wealth of resources.
Right, 100%. And a lot of times, even if the dispensaries are kind of out your price range, go there the first time at least and get a quality product and ask some quality questions and educate yourself a little bit that way. You might realize that, the gas station down the street does have this, a quality product. It does have the same thing that's perfect for you, but, you just don't want to dive into that because they're popping up everywhere. Absolutely. And we know from like a few years back when threaded carts were, flooding everywhere, dispensaries, the black market everywhere. And then all of a sudden they're being knocked off and people are getting sick. And
getting those side effects and those nasty reactions.
Right. Or just smoking straight glycerin oil and, no THC at all.
It's horrible.
Yeah. It was a kind of a rough time, man, because you just kind of got gun shy. Here comes these carts that were kind of like game changers. Some people at work, but you're at the bar, you're out at dinner, you're with family. It was so convenient to just dip out and take a little puff. And then it got scary because you didn't know where you were getting them. And now, we talked about it, I think, a couple episodes ago, or we meant to. We're stoners about
and if we haven't, we'll definitely talk about it again.
Right. The new rage of rechargeable disposables. Right. And now you can get high quality distillate. You can get live resin. You can get hash rosin, all in disposable pens. And I got to tell you, man, they're far too good and far too convenient. So I don't get them because I'll blow through the whole cart in a day, man.
So I think I mentioned this before, but we are living in the most amazing time in this world.
Right.
We have experienced so many firsts with everything. Knowledge is just increasing and expanding so fast. Technology is increasing and expanding so fast. Conveniences are increasing and expanding so fast. Opinions, interactions, everything, man. It's becoming such a fast-paced world.
Right.
And it's happening right now in our lifetimes.
Right, man.
Can you just imagine 100 years from now? That's wild, man. Imagine Bud 100 years from now. Can you imagine the wild strains we have now, what they're going to be 100 years from now? It's just you're going to fucking power a spaceship with that shit.
Man, in 10 years, with the amount, I've been saying it for a few years now, with just the amount of research and development that can be taking place, right? Because it was, companies couldn't dump money into cannabis. It was illegal, Now, companies are dumping hella money in
billions
research,
of dollars.
Research
billions.
and development, everything from THC inhalers. Can you imagine that? Like you're having, maybe you're having a tough day, anxiety or something, and you got an indica inhaler, like an asthma pump.
That's amazing.
And you're sitting, you could be sitting in court. You know what I mean? You wouldn't know who would know. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
don't worry, I'll pay the ticket.
I could breathe better. Thank you. Obviously I don't recommend that, but I just mean the convenience of something like that is kind of mind blowing all in itself.
That's wild.
Back to what we were sort of talking about. What got us down this rabbit hole,
right?
Down this
rabbit
that
hole, article
was the edibles, right? So let me back to the article, right? So the change in molecular structure ensures that consumers feel the full effects of the cannabis or hemp plant. In THC, the plant must be heated in order to feel the psychoactive effects, aka the feeling of being high. This is why cannabis is smoked in a bong, joint, or pipe, which I just mentioned. In edibles, the plant must be heated in the oven or lab before consumption. In CBD or THC oils, if the oil is not decarboxylated in a lab with specialized equipment before use, consumers will not feel the intended effect. So that's why you get some of those carts. And I think you're right. I think the better ones have to be decarbed prior, and that's why you can only get them at licensed dispensaries, right? And I think that's
a difference in quality, right there.
Right, and I feel like that's my opinion. For sure. This
Definitely,
is not, but I think that's the knockoff.
From the outside looking in and knowing what it is.
Right. It looks like,
makes the most sense.
So scratch that previous statement, about the inactive ingredients. I think they are inactive, and that's why they're selling them at gas stations versus active ones that you cannot get at a gas station. Now, again, that's all my opinion, but that's all we're going to give you to burn on today on that subject, but it is going to lead us into terpenes for our next episode. We mentioned that a few times. And then we're going to dive into my man Tone's favorite subject next week is live resin versus hash rosin. And if I hear him say this shit wrong one more time, holy shit. But
yo, I love all that shit. But it all looks the fucking same, man. What the hell?
Don't worry, people. I'm gonna learn them so that it ain't the same. Because like I know, it ain't all the same.
Now I know it's not all the same, and I appreciate you being patient with me.
No doubt,
right? Because
it's a process.
It's a process. Man.
Listen, I was equally confused in the beginning, my man.
And you know what? Moving down here, being close to Philly, I've learned trust the process, right?
Hell yeah. You got to trust the process.
I'm still a Heat fan and I'm still a Dolphins fan. Just throwing the little plugs in there, making sure you know that because the football season's coming up. But let's not get sidetracked on that right now because I don't want to rain on your little parade over here.
Listen, we'll forgive you for that. We know it's Bird Gang for life, but that's another day. Anyway, we want to thank everybody for tapping in again and riding this journey with us and continuing to support us every way that you have. Please keep hitting us up. Hit our socials. You Trying to Burn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Gmail. We're still fielding any contacts, and we'd love to hear from all of you. Again, thank you for tapping in. We love y'all.
Peace. And before we go, I want to just thank everybody for your listens, for your spins, for your shares. That really makes an impact for us. It really helps get this show out there. And the only way we could grow is if this content is valuable to you, to share this with somebody else, and hopefully they find it valuable to them as well.
Right. So get us out there to your stoner people, man. They want to hear it. Trust me. They want to smoke. They want to hear it. Just like y'all. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you're trying to get down on that cipher,
Hit us on the Patreon.
right. Hit up that Patreon.
Yeah. And see y'all on the next one.
All right. Peace.
Peace.